because if Ukraine falls, it will be a catastrophe for the West. It will be the end of Western hegemony, and we will have no one to blame but ourselves.
This is my video update on this Thursday, midday, April the 18th. Let's talk about some news. And let's start things off with Boris Johnson, who published another TikTok video update. And Boris Johnson is warning the collective West political class that if Project Ukraine collapses, then Western hegemony is at risk of collapsing. And if that happens, then we are all to blame, according to Boris Johnson. This video is not addressed to you and me. This video is addressed to the collective West political leadership. And you know who's going to take a lot of blame once Project Ukraine collapses? Boris Johnson. That's right, because it was Boris Johnson who flew to Kiev in 2022, and it was Boris Johnson who convinced Zelensky to continue to fight this conflict, promising Zelensky all kinds of money and weapons if he tears up the ceasefire negotiations that were being hammered out in Turkey, and continues to fight this proxy war against Russia. So Boris Johnson is going to take a whole lot of blame once Project Ukraine collapses. So that's the message from Boris Johnson. And from Boris Johnson, we can now turn to Mike Johnson. From one Johnson to another Johnson. And Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, he announced yesterday that he is going to put the 4 funding packages to a vote in the House this Saturday. And the Ukraine funding package, which is about $60 billion going to Project Ukraine, that funding package is pretty much the same package that the Senate put together a couple of months ago, with one big exception. $10 billion of the $60 billion, which is earmarked for economic assistance to the Zelensky regime, that $10 billion is going to be in the form of a loan. The other $50 billion in the Ukraine funding package is going to be given to the military-industrial complex, minus 10% for the big guy, of course. But that money is going to be given to the MIC, and that's not going to be in the form of a loan. That's just going to be straight up money to the weapons producers. The $10 billion that will be given to Ukraine in order to keep the economy afloat, that's going to be in the form of a loan. But wait, there's more. There is more. The $10 billion given to the Zelensky regime in the form of a loan will actually allow the president at any time to cancel that loan if he wants to. Whether it's the Biden White House or whether it's the Trump administration, if they want to cancel that $10 billion loan in economic assistance to Ukraine, then they can do so. So it's really no different than the Senate package that was put together a couple of months ago. Oh, Mike Johnson. Schumer's super excited about the spending packages that Johnson's going to put up for a vote. Remember, it's Project Ukraine, it's the Israeli spending package, it's the Gaza spending package, and it's the Taiwan spending package. I guess we can call it Project Taiwan. So these are the 4 spending packages that are going to be voted on by the House this Saturday. Nothing allocated to the American people, nothing about a southern border. Nope, none of that is in these 4 packages, foreign aid packages. And Schumer is super excited about what Mike Johnson has put together. Scoop, Chuck Schumer was just on the Senate floor bragging to other members about Speaker Johnson giving Democrats everything they wanted in the Ukraine and foreign aid packages, per senior Republican official. Even Schumer's like, dang, I didn't think Johnson would give us this much. He's even surprised. Like, I can't believe everything that Johnson has given us. So that's Chuck Schumer. So look, the 60 billion, as I have said many, many times, the 60 billion is an indication that we are one step closer to the end of Project Ukraine. And the only question mark now for the collective West political class and their puppet masters is what to do with the 300 billion in Russian frozen assets. What do we do with those 300 billion in Russian frozen assets? We got our 60 billion. Can we unlock the 300 billion in Russian frozen assets? The Financial Times, they put out an article with the title, Christine Lagarde says the U.S. plan to raise debt against Russian assets carries legal risk. And then we have this article, G7 leaders pledge cooperation on Iran sanctions and frozen Russian assets. So they're trying to figure out a way to seize, not freeze, the 300 billion in Russian frozen assets. So 10 billion will go to the Zelensky regime in the form of a loan that the president can cancel at any time, but that 10 billion, along with money from the European Union, the plan is to keep Ukraine afloat at least until the November 2024 elections. And in that time, until the elections, the collective West political class is going to see if there is a way, a legal loophole, some sort of mechanism where they can then steal the 300 billion in Russian frozen assets. If they can do it, then that's it. Project Ukraine can be considered a success for the collective West political class and their donors and sponsors. And they can walk away from Project Ukraine knowing that at least they got out of it with something. 60 billion here, 50 billion from the EU there, and another 300 billion in Russian frozen assets. So they're buying time. They are buying time to see if they can get to the big payoff, if they can find a way to get to the big money, which is the 300 billion in frozen assets. Duda, the president of Poland, was in New York. He met with Donald Trump. Interesting that you have the president of Poland traveling to the United States and meeting with Trump, not with Biden. Maybe he's going to meet with Biden today, I don't know, but his first order of business was meeting with Trump in New York City, and at this meeting, Duda discussed Project Ukraine, he discussed NATO, and he also talked about the 60 billion to Project Ukraine in the form of a loan. I don't want to scare him, so I won't get too close. Let him go on his way, wherever he's going. Enjoy your afternoon, Mr. Turtle, or Mr. Tortoise. Let's get back to the news. Oh boy. Yeah, so Duda was meeting with Trump, having dinner in New York City to talk to him about continuing to support NATO and to not get in the way of the 60 billion to Project Ukraine. Andrzej Duda having dinner with Trump, probably telling Trump, Mr. Trump, you can't abandon Project Ukraine because, to be quite honest, I don't know what I would do if I was left without Zelensky number 5. Trust me, Mr. Trump. One whiff of Zelensky number 5 and you're hooked. That's probably what Duda told Trump. Trump was like, I don't care about Zelensky number 5, bro. Zelensky number 5's not going to get me. Duda. So Stoltenberg, he came out with a statement yesterday, and Stoltenberg said that NATO members must give up all of their air defense systems to Ukraine. They have to give up everything. Let's see here. What did Stoltenberg say? A part of the important effort we are now making across the NATO alliance to step up our delivery of air defense systems to Ukraine, Stoltenberg told reporters during a press conference in Brussels. But Ukraine needs even more. That is why, if allies face a choice between meeting NATO capability targets and providing more aid to Ukraine, my message is clear. Send more to Ukraine. Demilitarization in action. The collective West, NATO, demilitarization. Oh boy, I bet you the Putin administration is just probably like, this couldn't work out any better for us. Not only do we demilitarize Ukraine, but NATO's making it very easy for us to demilitarize NATO. We don't have to actually go to NATO countries to destroy their air defense systems. The air defense systems are just coming to us. Unbelievable stuff, huh? Unbelievable stuff from Stoltenberg. Put in jeopardy your entire security, your entire air defense security umbrella. Get rid of all of it and give it over to the Zelensky regime for the Russians to destroy your Patriot systems. So you will be left with nothing. NATO member states will be left with no air defense systems, nothing to protect them, because it will all go to Ukraine and the Russians will destroy the Patriot systems like they destroyed the Patriot systems given to Ukraine over the past 2 years. But hey, that's Stoltenberg's suggestion. Give it all up. Give everything up to Zelensky. Boy, oh boy. So you know the plan from Pavel of the Czech Republic to find 1,155 shells and hand those over to Ukraine? Well, that plan has gone bust. That plan has gone completely bust. There is a lack of money for the Czech Republic initiative, says Estonia. Some of the deliveries may not be in the queue until the end of the year. Yeah, so the whole 1 million, we're gonna run around the world and look for 1 million shells and hand those over to Ukraine. That brilliant plan from Pavel of the Czech Republic. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And the Duran, we reported on this plan from Pavel. We said it's not gonna happen, and now we are getting confirmation that plan has fallen apart. So Fox News, they put out an article with the title, "The Ukraine War is Lost, but Hollywood and DC don't know it." Hollywood and DC ignore fact that Russia's army is bigger than when the war began and Ukraine can't keep up. So this article says that Hollywood, they've been lobbying very hard, the Biden White House and Congress, to get $60 billion to Project Ukraine and to not ditch Zelensky. But according to Fox News, the Hollywood actors and the DC the DC decision makers, they still haven't realized that this war cannot be won, according to Fox News. And there are three reasons why this war cannot be won. The first reason is that Russia has more men. The second reason is that Russia has more weapons and makes more weapons than the United States and the EU combined. That is what Fox News is saying in this article. And get this, the third reason, this is Fox News, not me. This is Fox News. The third reason is that Russia has better leadership. Oh, God, stop, Fox News. You're killing me. You're killing me, Fox News. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's what Fox News is saying. Russia has better leadership. The Zelensky leadership just didn't pan out. It wasn't able to convince the people of Ukraine that they can defeat the Russian military, while the Putin administration was able to convince the Russian people that they can win this conflict, not only against Ukraine, but against NATO. That is what Fox News is saying in this article. But wait a minute. Wait 1 minute, Fox News. You were telling me that Zelensky is Churchill. Oh, man. All right, the video's over. That's my clown world. The Duran.locals.com. Oh, boy. Yeah, no joke. This is a real article from Fox News. This is a real freaking article. Oh, boy. Who would have ever thought that Hollywood actors would get this war so wrong? Who would have ever thought that the brilliant, genius actors in Hollywood would get this war so wrong? Oh, boy. So one man, one country that did not get this war wrong is Hungary and Viktor Orban. And Viktor Orban, yesterday, he said that the EU leadership has got to go. Ursula von der Crazy and Jungle Joseph Borrell and Charles Michel and all of these EU clowns, they need to go. From Politico, Orban to Brussels, time to shake up bad EU leadership. That's right. And Viktor Orban, he put out a tweet on a post on Twitter X. Results of the current European leadership: green transition, failed agricultural policy, failed competitiveness, failed migration policy, failed. We need a change in Brussels. I'm surprised that in this list from Viktor Orban, he didn't put Project Ukraine, failed regime change in Russia, failed sinking Russia's economy, failed winning the war, the proxy war against Russia, failed removing Vladimir Putin, failed Zelensky presidency, puppet presidency, failed balkanization of Russia, failed. I'm surprised he didn't put any of that in the list. EU, European economies failing, Nord Stream failed. Oh boy, but Orban, Orban, you fail to realize one thing in your post. The more failures these EU elites rack up, the more they're promoted, the higher they go up the ladder. As I said in my video the other day, failure is good when you're talking about the collective West. political system. The more you fail, the higher you go. Well, Orban, he wants an EU shakeup. I don't think he will get it, even though Ursula's re-election, if you want to even call it an election, her reappointment as EU Commission president is in jeopardy, but I don't think Orban is going to get an EU leadership shakeup like the one he's advocating for. Not going to happen. Greece voted in the Council of Europe for Kosovo to be admitted to the Council of Europe. Serbia slams Greece over Kosovo's admission to the Council of Europe. The Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, PACE, overwhelmingly passed a report recommending membership for Kosovo, based on a report by former Greek Foreign Minister Duda Bakoyannis, who is the sister of the current Prime Minister Mitsotakis, and whose son was the mayor of Athens. Yeah, so Greece put together this proposal to admit Kosovo into the Council of Europe. The sister of the Prime Minister of Greece put this proposal together, and it was voted on, and it passed. It passed, and Greece was one of the countries that voted to allow Kosovo to be admitted into the Council of Europe. From what I understand, there's going to be another vote that's going to take place. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I read. There's going to be another 1 or 2 votes before this is official, but for the most part, it looks like Kosovo is on its way to being admitted into the Council of Europe. Spain voted against this for obvious reasons. We know why Spain voted against this, because of Catalonia. That's one of the reasons. That is the main reason why Spain voted against this. Cyprus voted against this for obvious reasons as well. But most of the other countries in Europe voted for this. Hungary actually voted against this. Good on Hungary. And from what I understand, Croatia voted against this because it was a no-show. I think Croatia didn't show up to the vote, so it registered as voting against the admission of Kosovo into the Council of Europe. So pretty much Spain, Cyprus, and Hungary. They're the ones that voted this down. Not enough. Kosovo is on its way to entering the Council of Europe. And as I said in a video I made about 2 years ago, I remember that video. It was in front of the National Museum. And I talked about how the government of Mitsotakis will betray Serbia. And boy, did I get a lot of criticism, a lot of flack for that video. You don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy if you think that's going to happen. That will never happen. And I got criticism, not only from many Greeks, but also from a few Serbs as well. And sure enough, that is what has happened. The government of Prime Minister Mitsotakis, along with his sister, they put together this proposal and they voted in favor of this proposal. And Serbia was not happy. The representation at the Council of Europe in Serbia, they actually told Greece that you are opening up a Pandora's box, and they are 1,000% correct. Greece is going to pay a very, very bad price for this one in 10 to 20 years. Because we've got our own issues that this vote is not going to work in our favor in the future. But this was demanded by the U.S. They demanded that Greece do this, and of course, Greece is going to do as they are ordered by the United States. So anyway, that's a big bit of news. Let's do a couple of clown worlds, I guess, and we can wrap this video up. So Biden is talking about cannibals? What the F is Biden talking about? I'm looking at this title here. Biden is going on about how his uncle was shot down. He was a pilot in World War II, and he was shot down and eaten by cannibals. What is Biden talking about?
Ambrose Finnegan, we called him Uncle Bosie. He was shot down. He was in the Army Air Corps before there was an Air Force. He flew single-engine planes, reconnaissance flights over New Guinea. He had volunteered because someone couldn't make it. He got shot down in an area where there were a lot of cannibals in New Guinea at the time. They never recovered his body, but the government went back when I went down there, and they checked and found parts of the plane and the like. And what I was thinking about when I was standing there was when Trump refused to go up to the memorial for veterans in Paris, and he said they're a bunch of suckers and losers.
According to the Pentagon's for prisoners of war and missing in action, Finnegan was never shot down, however, nor was it on a reconnaissance mission, as Biden claimed. The A-20 Havoc light bomber was on a courier run for the Los Negros Island when its engines failed at low altitude. Per the official account of the incident, the plane dropped into the sea of the north coast of New Guinea, and 2 out of 3 crew members never made it out of the sinking wreck, which was never found. The one man who survived was rescued by a passing boat. All right, Biden, your uncle? Your uncle, yeah. Your uncle was shot down and cannibals got a hold of him, whatever. Whatever, man. I got nothing. I got nothing. So, oh man. So the Daily Mail, they put out this article. German supermarket billionaire who disappeared hiking on the Matterhorn and was declared dead is living with his mistress in Moscow. What a great story, huh? This guy faked his death. According to the Daily Mail, he faked his death and he disappeared, and he was actually in Russia living with his mistress for like 6 years. He's been declared dead, and now it's been found out that he's been hanging out, having a good life with his mistress in Moscow, this German billionaire. Oh boy. And finally, we get to the big clown world of the day, which is Yolanda Navalny. Yolanda Navalny, she made the list of the 100 world's most influential people, the Time 100 most influential people. This is not a joke. This is a real list. Yolanda Navalny made the list. And 2 articles were written on Yolanda Navalny in this Time 100 most influential of 2024 article. 2 articles, 2 posts dedicated to Yolanda Navalny. The one post was written by some guy who talks about how Putin is Yolanda's enemy and how Yolanda is fighting the Putin regime, and her goal is to pick up where Alexei Navalny left off, and to one day restore democracy, freedom, and human rights in Russia with Yolanda as president of the Russian Federation, whatever. That's the first article. That was written by a journalist. The second article in this Time 100 list dedicated to Yolanda Navalny was written by Kamala Harris. Yeah, Kamala Harris wrote an article dedicated to Yolanda Navalny, who has been named one of Time's top 100 most influential people of 2024. Can't make this up. You really cannot make this up. So I don't know what's funnier, what's more crazy about this story, what's more clown worldish about this this story. Is it that Yolanda Navalny made the list of top 100 most influential people? Or is it that the person that wrote the article about Yolanda making the list of 100 most influential people was written by Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris wrote the article dedicated to Yolanda Navalny, or is it that Kamala Harris can actually write an article? I don't know which is more crazy. Maybe it's that Kamala Harris actually put together a full article. Maybe that's the clown world in all of this. I don't know. I really don't know. But Donald Tusk, he was on the list. And the person that wrote the article about Donald Tusk was Ursula von der Leyen. So she wrote the article dedicated to Donald Tusk. And Andrei Yermak, the entertainment lawyer of Zelensky, he also made the list of top 100 most influential people. And the person that wrote about Yermak was Anders Fogh Rasmussen, the former NATO Secretary General. He used to be the NATO chief, and he wrote about Yermak, Zelensky's entertainment lawyer. Interesting that Yermak made the list of top 100 most influential people. I wonder if they're not sending out a signal, a hint that perhaps Zelensky could make his exit, and this Yermak guy, this is the guy that could become the next leader of Ukraine. I wonder if they're trying to send out some signals here. But anyway, that's the video, everybody. That's the clown world, the Duran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. Pick up some limited merch. Link is in the description box down below. Like this video, share this video, and if you want to, you can also subscribe to this channel. Take care.